What happens to the mortgage on my parents' home when they pass away?
Chris, that's a common question, and
hmm
usually it's the parents who are asking us that question when we're doing their estate planning. And tell the listener what's happening.
So, what's happening is anytime somebody passes away with a mortgage on their home, and it, of course, oftentimes this home is going to the children, the adult children. If the children are deciding that they are going to sell the home at that point, then when they do so, the mortgage is paid first. And so it's a pretty simple and straightforward situation that will be again paid. They are allowed to continue, meaning the adult children, and pay the mortgage until the house is sold, because I think oftentimes people get concerned that they will not be able to continue making those payments, as in the lender won't let them. The lender must continue to let the adult children pay it. And then, of course, if it's sold, that's very simple, because at the closing, the mortgage will be completely paid off before the home transfers to the buyers. The other piece of this, which is really important that we help with, is yes, the mortgage can be paid and paid by the children and paid off. However, you want to make sure that the home goes directly to the children without probate. Because if there's probate, now it means the children must continue paying that mortgage as long as the probate is going on, which could be, even now we're dealing with ones where it could be a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So the whole idea is, how do you avoid probate? That's what will minimize the amount of time with regards to even paying on this potential mortgage that is left on the parent's home.
So when mom and dad pass away, the kids just step into their shoes and keep on making the mortgage payments until they either sell the house and pay off the mortgage as part of that sale, or otherwise pay off the mortgage. And so what you're really saying is that if the kids want to, what our experience is, most of the time when mom and dad have passed away, the kids want to sell their home.
Correct.
Okay?
That's exactly.
And so we're all about helping people to avoid probate. And why? Because probate's expensive and it takes a long time. So if we have to go through probate, that probate could take 4 to 6 months, and you can't sell the home until the end of that probate. If we take all the steps necessary to avoid probate on the home using a ladybird deed, also known as enhanced life estate deed, the kids own that piece of property. They're free to sell it the day after mom and dad have passed away.
Exactly.
So less time that they're going to have to make the mortgage payments pending the sale of the property.
Correct. Yes. And you're right. Most of the time they want to sell. And therefore, it would be, how do you minimize? But the kids do step into the shoes and can immediately start paying that mortgage.
Hey, I do want to clarify something, and that is this, is that as far as the children wanting to keep the home and wanting to officially assume the loan with the lender, so that the lender actually recognizes the child as the new borrower, okay, to actually literally assume that mortgage. The only way the lender is required to let the child assume the mortgage is if the child is going to live there. So that's the federal law. Mom and dad pass away, child Joe is going to live in mom and dad's home. The lender by law must allow them to assume that mortgage. If the mom and dad pass away and Joe inherits a home and Joe lives somewhere else, hey, the lender doesn't have to let them assume the mortgage, but realistically, son Joe can just keep on making the mortgage payments, and the lender's not going to care. That's been our experience.
Exactly. That, and you're right, Tom, that's been our experience. Not each, and this is where, though, each lender, what we find, the requirements are a little bit different, and you always have to check with that lender.